we're going live. And there we are. Bessy is so adorable. Let's see. So let me check here. Check. Everybody, is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Check. Check.
Michael Greenhill.
Michael Greenhill.
And GW Rules.
GW Rules, how you doing, brother? Michael. GW Rules, how you doing, brother? All right, we're going to call that a sound check.
Good enough. Good enough.
Michael and Bessy Webb. How are you guys doing tonight? I saw, what was a video? I think I saw you do a, go ahead and start getting some reds in there too, baby. I saw Michael did a video recently. What was the last video you did, Michael? You did a video about something. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 6. DW Low is here. This weekend, we're going to be doing the escape scenario.
Ooh.
I think that's scenario number 32-ish out of the scenario of the month rigmarole. Vern Jeske is here. Good to see you, Vern. Glad you could join us this fine evening. 4, 5, 6. This is how we spend our nights. The thrill and excitement of moving things from one bag to another bag.
Into a box.
Into a box.
And then onto a shelf.
And then onto a shelf. So we take it from one bag, and then we put it in another bag.
And like a smaller bag.
In a smaller bag. And then that bag goes sometimes in a box. I'm really behind on my processing of orders. I really need to get some orders out tomorrow. I feel like I'm getting behind on everything. A big thank you to the folks. We have about a 30-minute video. We're going to go officially live in 2 minutes. 2 minutes, we're going to go live. So Vern was talking about using the Zeppelin, and he had asked this. He'd asked to use the Zeppelin a long time ago, and I told him we would. And then I don't remember exactly what happened. It seemed like the scenario that we ended up playing, for whatever reason, didn't quite fit the Zeppelin or whatever. I don't really remember. So then we didn't end up using the Zeppelin for the scenario that he played, but we're going to try it again. So
yeah.
I don't remember exactly when the date is that we're going to do that one, but we're going to try and get, hey, Matt, how are you doing, sir? Thank you for joining us tonight. We're just sitting here putting stuff in bags. How are you doing? Are you got anything in bags tonight?
Probably not.
Well, I don't know. Some people put things in bags. It's probably not just us.
It's probably just us.
But I did have a few things to go over tonight. This is our normal evening activity, is putting things in bags. That's kind of what we do. I was just double checking your numbers there, lady.
Hey, bro.
Quality assurance. Quality assurance, boys and girls. Oh, she's too good for me to check her work.
It's because I don't count out loud like some people.
I have to use my toes. How else am I going to know how many I'm putting in there? Vern Jeske. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, but I do think we'll end up using the Zeppelin in the next scenario that we have with Vern. Now the next scenario that we're doing is the escape, and that will not use the Zeppelin, but that's a cool scenario. That is a cool scenario. It starts off with the leaders basically in custody of being held prisoner. The leaders are in cells at the start of the scenario, and their allies, their colleagues, are basically moving in to save them. Now, the leaders can escape on their own via, their own shenanigans, their own breaking out and escaping from the cells. So they can escape on their own, or they can escape with the assistance of their leagues. Normally, it's kind of better if it's kind of a little bit of a combination of the two. It's a really fun scenario.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's 8 o'clock.
Oh, it's at 8:01. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is a Pulp Alley video. It's about the Pulp Alley tabletop skirmish game. We are going to do a Q&A. We'll answer some of your questions, your burning questions about life,
Liberty in the Pursuit of Happiness.
relationship advice.
I don't think we do that.
Cooking, any recipe advice that you may have regarding Pop-Tarts or toaster strudel. Spaghettios.
Low and slow.
Low and slow. And that also goes for relationship advice.
Ta-da!
Thank you, boys and girls. I'm done for the night. In more ways than one.
Oh boy.
So, Bessy, tell me about these PDFs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that you will be sending out Monday. She's planning on starting PDF sending out on Monday. So, if you ordered a PDF that we actually have ready to send during our Kickstarter, then hopefully we'll start getting those out starting next Monday and possibly throughout that week. So the 2 books that will not be ready immediately would be the China Station book and the Characters book. So those 2 are not ready. I need some more white dice. Those 2 books are not ready yet. Maybe we should stop worrying about this. Should we stop?
You'll be counting the question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Are you suggesting that I'm easily distracted?
Look, a squirrel.
Squirrel.
You can finish these 2, and then we're gonna call it. You didn't have to.
She doesn't make the rules. I make the rules.
Well, I'm not making any more, so that's literally all you get. Who's making the rules now, bro?
Okay. Let's see. A big thank you to Vern Jeske for sending something for the fanzine. Cool little story. Very interesting. A big thank you to Jim Stute. I wonder if Jim's on here this fine evening. I don't see Jim Stute. Jim Stute sent several scenarios, some really cool stuff.
That's awesome.
So, just thank you to everybody that's already sent something in. I do think that we are probably close to having enough stuff to try to piece together an issue number 1 at the very least. So. But there's always room for more. Yes. I'm not working on it, boys or girls. Unfortunately, I cannot spend the time to work on it. So, if anything progresses on it, it's because y'all out there are actually spending the time to kind of contribute to it. Yeah. And that's much, much appreciated. Mm-hmm. So we have a new translation, a new French translation of the Quick Start Guide. The short little 25-page Quick Start Guide, a new French translation for that. And the same fella is working on a French translation for the starter deck.
Oh, very cool.
So, if there's anybody out there that could maybe take a pass through their work, and maybe if you're qualified to make a decision about that sort of thing, make sure that everybody's work should be proofread, especially mine. I'm horrible in writing and barely can put a sentence together. So that's why I always insist on people reading my work, because I know how many flaws I write. But if there's anybody out there that is a good French reader and could actually look through this stuff and make sure that it's good, that that there aren't any mistakes in it, obvious mistakes, then that would be cool.
Or other languages, if someone else knows another language.
Well, I think for this you'd need French.
I meant to translate into other possibilities.
Yes.
Not
Yes. Yes,
French.
absolutely. I think we have a Spanish one somewhere. I think it kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit, but I think there's a Spanish version. Hundreds of these. So very cool. Big thank you to Bessy for helping me get all this stuff. Klingon or Elvish, correct. That would also be helpful.
I mean, I'd get behind that.
Absolutely. I need to get some dice. Luckily, sir, we have some dice. Let's see what else. What other snide remarks can I make? Stick with what you know. Well,
Told you before.
Yeah, brain surgery? Can't be that hard. So I wanted to show you these cool, I think you could see them on that camera. No, don't change. You can see them sitting there in front of you all. One of them is pretty much done, except it has a little more. These are two foreground buildings that we've been working on the last couple weeks. And this one's nearly done, except that there's some like posters and stuff to kind of plaster around on the outside of the building and possibly on the inside too. So we might do a little more work with that. And then this one, Jerry just started on today and got quite a ways through it, but it's still has next week to work on. And I wanted to show you this cute little tank. This cute little tank here from Rubicon also. I think we could go to that camera. Yeah. So there's a picture of the Old Field tires. Really cool. And I love how quick and easy it is to get the roof off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got this cool interior. I did a video about this today, but this is further along than the video was because he finished this up today. And a really good scale. I like it because it has the two areas that you can move into. It has a connecting door between the two areas. It's got the two outside doors. It's got quite a bit of windows. Cool building. I really like it. Now I don't have any of these in stock right now, but I am planning to get some more of these and these as well, because I think they're just good solid buildings that you could use in a lot of different ways. So, and this is a tire shop, but I'd like to we're going to do this one as a tire shop, and then I'd really like to do another one using the same pieces, but see if I could kind of customize it a little bit, maybe change the colors and the signage and stuff like that, and use it as a different building. The little hatch that leads up to the roof opens and closes. That's cool stuff. I like that. That's fun. And then send me back to this. I'll show you my tank.
Hey, did it come with the sidewalk and the posters? Is that all part of the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a little Rubicon Italian tank, a M1340. But I'm going to use it for either Chinese or I'll use it for a Japanese tank. I think something like this, you could almost use something like this to pass as like Type 95 or something like that. Look at that scale. Those were little tanks. So the Type 95, those were only like a 3-person tank. And you could imagine 3 people in this. Not much more than that, though. You really, in that sort of scale.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an easy tank to include in a lot of like intra-war sort of stuff. I also have some, T-26 tanks that are also really good for, in a Pulp Alley sort of setting, that intra-war sort of time period. Very cool. And that I actually do have. I have the T-26s and that little M13 as well. I have those 2 in stock. I like these Rubicons, and especially even like this one, because it's pretty durable little tank. I mean, the barrels and stuff like that, you always have to be careful of those things, getting broke. But for the most part, pretty sturdy. It's going to stand up to some gaming. Jess Ray, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us this evening. Robert Reynolds, thank you so much for jumping on here. In those little T-26s, those were all over the place. You could stick that in Mexico. You could stick it in Japan. You could stick it in China because, they either sold them or they were stolen or taken by other countries too. So those little tanks like that are so easy to work into different places. Stick it in Africa or wherever and have fun with it. It's just a fun little something to throw out there once in a while. Someone recently asked, are there rules for using tanks in Pulp Alley? The basic vehicle rules are in the core rule book, but if you want to use like some of the stuff like tanks and airplanes and ships and combat walkers and things like that, that's where you want to get the Pulp Gadgets, Guns, and Vehicles book. Now, that was originally written for first edition, but the vast majority of what's in there still crosses over perfectly fine, still works perfectly fine in second edition. Now, I always say this because I want to be honest with people. Eventually, I would like to rewrite it and make a second edition version. But based on my current ability to get things done, it could be 12 years from now, for all I know. Before say 10. Bessy's an optimist. She's an optimist, so she says we might be able to get it done in 10. Sounds like she's kind of pushing it a little bit there.
Don't rush.
I like to take my time on these things.
That's when accidents happen.
That's when you rush. That's how accidents happen, boys and girls. Do we have any questions from our Spanish Civil War? Yes, absolutely. Perfect setting for those intra-war tanks like that. Even some, you could throw some like Panzer IIs out there. Those were adorable. Those adorable little Panzer IIs. Just want to hug them. What? You and your field cap. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, if we don't have any questions from anybody, I don't know what else was I supposed to go over tonight?
Romance.
Relationship advice, romance. We have the scenario this Sunday is Chris Girardi and Sean Hudson, and they will be playing co-op, and I think I was gonna do Captain Wolf and Minerva, making them team up one last time and trying to help each other. But they're going to try and backstab each other at some point. Some sort of dirty scoundrel move. But you know what? When you are playing co-op, that is different from just having an agreement that you're not going to fight. If you are officially playing co-op, then you are not enemies, and that changes the scope of the scenario. You can easily play the scenario and just say, well, let's just not fight each other. But that means you are still technically enemies. So even when you want to shoot at the nearest enemy, they still count for that, because it's not co-op, and they could turn on you at any time, or you could turn on them at any time. So that's the difference between just having an agreement that you're not going to fight each other and officially making it a co-op scenario. It also changes the dynamic of a lot of the cards. A lot of the cards you simply cannot play on an enemy. On a friend, because they're not an enemy, because the card says enemy on the card. What you got?
Kickstarter shipment. What's the estimated date? What's the official date?
The official date is still November. Yeah, the official date is still November, is when we're hoping to make sure that you guys can get it by November. And there is no official date beyond just the month of November. We hope to beat that. There are still things outstanding that we need. So I really, sometimes these things surprise me as much as they do anybody else, because we still need some books. We still need some boxes. We still have to finish the China Station book and the characters book. Those will have to be printed. So right now we are easily looking at a month or 2 months away. So that almost gets us to November, already. We would like to start shipping some of the pledges that for backers that did not include the China Station and characters book. What we would like to do is try to get those started moving a little bit quicker. In other words, we don't want to sit on everybody's pledges just because we're waiting on 2 items. So if we can get some of this stuff out the door earlier, that's our goal, is to try and start getting some of this stuff out the door. Right now, we're fairly close to being able to start packaging up. And, that's what all the dice was about. This whole box here, plus another one bigger than that one, is full of dice. And these are all going into the starter boxes. Yep. So that's a big one. So as soon as we can start getting those shipped off, that's going to be a big deal for us. Yeah. All right. Is that quality before quantity? Are there any other questions that we have out there from anybody else?
You have a lovely singing voice.
I do have a lovely singing voice. I hear that nearly every day.
Do you?
Yes.
Who tells you that?
People, them, the them.
The they?
The they.
Huh. I didn't realize they were here. I don't think it was the baby.
Maybe it was. All right, I guess we're going to call that it then for tonight.
Okay.
What do you guys think about Bessy and her lovely hat? Adorable. All right, I guess that's it for tonight then. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We will see you next time. Bye, everybody. In stream. Bam.